do people assume that you're Harley all the time? Like, do they want you to be on, and they just assume that you're going to get into that character? I mean, I
Even
get
when
that.
I'm like this,
When you're like this, but
Yeah.
people want you to be funny all the time, or they want, and I say, I'm not getting paid. Yeah, I'm not.
Well,
my grandpa used to say,
Yeah.
don't do something for free that you normally get paid for.
I try to be lighthearted.
Well, sure.
I mean,
But you're not going to do your act. When
No.
you're just
I mean, I've always been the one that walks up and says, "Hey, did you hear the one about?"
Mm-hmm.
Or a new joke that I've heard that I can't tell on a Branson stage. But no, I know who
that's
Perry
very
is.
broad,
Yeah.
actually. That could be almost anything.
It could. It could even be some of the jokes I tell on stage. But I try not to take life too serious.
Right.
I think people have cried enough. It's time to laugh.
And aren't we lucky that soon we'll be able to bring back all of the Clinton and Bush jokes? They all come around.
Goodness sakes. They keep throwing those people at us.
I know.
Isn't there somebody different,
Seriously.
Yeah.
But at least for comedians, it's great.
Yeah.
You can just recycle all the jokes.
Well, KFC has brought back the Hillary bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 2 small breasts, 2 big thighs, and 2 left wings.
Oh, there
Yeah.
we go. That's nice. Now,
You have to take one of those things out of the menu and on stage.
the left
Yeah,
wings.
the wings, yeah.
They don't like the left wings here. I actually do a lot of jokes about that where I say, Branson, I got to be careful. Branson's a little conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you drive in, my car always veers off to the right. That sort of thing.
Sure.
But after your shows, do you meet the crowd after the show?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you go out, and I'm sure, just like me, you get people that say, have you heard this one? And they want to share jokes. And I'm doing a survey with comedians. I would say 8 out of 10 times, okay? Which that's like 30%.
Yeah, it's almost half.
Almost.
Yeah.
There's no way I could do that joke on
Exactly.
stage.
Yeah.
Yet we have to be so careful what we say as
Sure.
a comedian in Branson, but what they tell us after the show, I'm thinking, I wouldn't even say that joke
Right.
anywhere.
Yep,
You get that a lot.
a lot, just like you.
Yeah.
30%, 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Or as I say, 5 out of 3 people can't even do fractions.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
well,
Did you know 3 out of 4 people make up 75% of the population?
really?
Exactly.
Wow. And statistics.
Yeah.
I'm lucky because 2/3 of our audience get about 82% of my jokes about half the time. So, we can do this all night if you want.
I've got a lawn to mow.
You do. This is Branson. The grass is going to die in a few weeks anyway.
Yeah, well,
so
that's true.
who cares? Who cares? Is it your lawn, or are you just mowing somebody else's lawn? You just go and mow people's lawns in your Harley.
It's one of my lawns.
Yeah.
I got a house for sale in the house I live in. So
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're divorced.
yeah, once or twice.
Yeah. I've given away many. No, I'm married. I found
Yeah.
just the right woman that needed to become a citizen.
Is that right? Yeah. Got a green card and everything.
Yeah, those Canadians.
Yeah.
You gotta watch them trying to healthcare.
Exactly.
So you said, I'm confused. You said you were a musician, but then you
Right.
said you were a drummer. Which
Right.
one was it?
Yeah. Well, I owned a guitar too.
Oh,
Yeah. Just to gain some respect as a drummer.
I see. But in your family, were they entertaining at all? Were they entertainers? Were they
None.
none? Nothing?
Nope. Dad was a veterinarian, and my mother.
Oh, we
worked
love
in
our vets in Branson.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah. We always had meat on the table.
One way or another.
Always
somewhere.
putting something down. But Mom worked at a newspaper office, and but
We
I
used to have those. I remember newspapers.
yes. I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan,
Yeah?
and I looked at Ringo, and I thought, if he can make a living doing
Seriously.
that, how hard can it be?
Seriously.
So that was my aspiration, was to be one of the Beatles. And It didn't work out.
No?
No.
You could probably do that here in town now.
Yeah, maybe, but
I'm sure.
one of the old Beatles.
Well, I mean, they're all.
Yeah, they're getting up there, the ones we got left. But
That would be funny because there was a song that was out. I want to move like Jagger, move like Mick Jagger. It was a line in a song I kept hearing. I want to moves like Jagger, and I kept thinking, you really want to move like Jagger now? Because it's the like 70s.
Gotta be.
I would come out with a walker and
Yeah.
have that song playing, but that'd be interesting.
But then when I was in bands, in school and after graduation, and always played and sang. And when I was in Osage Beach, one night the comedian on that show, he and his wife had a big fight, and he left town.
Oh.
Middle of the night. So the next day, the band leader called me, and he said, Chuck isn't in town.
No, he heard you coughing under the bed.
I guess so. And he said, you're more familiar with the routines than anybody else is. Could you be the comedian tonight? So I didn't want to let the show down, so I attempted comedy. And there were 10 weeks left of the season, and the party that owned the theater said we could finish out our brochure.
Right.
And so got to the end of the season, and my phone rang twice that winter to be a comedian on another show.
Oh, wow.
Nobody called me to ask me to sing again. So I thought, well, I might as well. I've been handed lemons.
Yeah, Perry, could you not sing? It sounds like a whale being tortured.
Yeah, dying rabbit. So I thought, well, I might as well work harder at being a better comedian. And I'd rather be a comedian with a job than a singer looking for one.
Right.
And so that was what I...
There you go. That happens a lot, actually, because my background is doing magic, and I got a comedy club gig. It was the same thing. Can you MC? Our MC's out. Could you do the MCing? Fine. That went well. We'd like to feature you one night. We have a big name coming into town. Well, it snowed, and he couldn't make it. But we still had the crowd there, and they said, we'd like you to be the headliner. So I go from being open mic night to headliner in about a week and a half. And all the other comedians hated me because they had worked so long. But it was interesting. You'd be surprised. We were talking about that before we started, how sometimes we get jobs just because people have other obligations, or you never know what's going to happen. You can work really hard at something, and,
Yeah.
And I worked really hard at being a drag racer, but I couldn't wear the heels. It was
Is that right?
No, I'm kidding. I could. They were fine. Yeah.
Got used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a comedian in town that kept turning down work, and he'd tell him to call me. I had a great year that year.
Yeah, what is that? Who does that?
Yeah.
I say that all the time. People will call me, and so-and-so isn't interested in doing this. Would you? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I'll take it.
Right.
Are you paying me? Yes. Or I say that all the time when I'm at a gig. What do you think of the music here and there? And I say, am I still getting my paycheck? Yeah. It was great. I don't care.
Right.